Hello, my name is Megan Trowick, and you may have seen my webinar on estate planning for blended families. So I want to give you a little taste of what that webinar really talks about. And it's talking about using trust to protect your family, especially if you're in a blended family. You may be like, why are blended families treated any differently than a regular nuclear family, Megan? Well, let me tell you why. Imagine that you were married to Jill. You and Jill had 2 children. Those 2 children are currently minors. You and Jill divorced, and now you're married to Becky. And Becky came into the family with 2 children. You have your 2 children from your previous marriage, and then, you have 1 additional child with Becky. So now Becky has 2 children from a previous relationship. You have 2 children from a previous relationship, and now you share 1 child together. Imagine that you pass away. You pass away and you have assets that you brought into the marriage. You have a house that you brought into the marriage. You have an IRA, say that you have $50,000. You come into this marriage now with Becky. Becky moves into the house with you when you pass away. And you passed away with no will. Guess what? Jill from the previous marriage and those 2 children, Becky and her 2 children, and Becky and now the child you share together, are all people within your estate whose interests do not mingle at all. These 3 interests are going to fight. You're going to end up in probate court. You're going to be paying an attorney just like me thousands of dollars because each of you have conflict in interests. Your current wife, Becky, has a life estate in your home for the rest of her life. She has a right to live in your home even though it's an asset you brought into the marriage for the rest of her life. She also has a claim on a part of that $50,000 that you brought into the marriage. And the children you had before with Jill also have a claim. So you have somebody coming into your new marriage who will now try to tell Becky what she should be doing with the house that she lives in. Or you may have Becky who moves a new person into your home while your children from your previous relationship starve. That's kind of drastic. But that's what you set up when you don't have proper estate planning. So how could you have used that trust to make sure that your children with Jill gets protected, to make sure that the child you now have with Becky gets protected, to minimize the fights and conflict in your family? If your trust actually owned those assets before you entered into the new relationship with Becky, you would not be having that problem. If you set up an estate plan that actually deals with your assets, then Texas Estates Code does not come in and cannot dictate what will happen to your assets. So if you have a blended family, don't get a blended mess. Talk with an experienced estate planning attorney who can actually separate, who can actually make your surface smooth and your estate plan actually work. My name is Megan Trowick, and I'm here with the Law Office of Brian Fagan, where we help people like you every day sort out this mess to have a smooth sailing life into your next relationship. Thank you. Hello, thank you for watching our video. And because you made it to the end of that video, we're offering you our new estate planning handbook. This is a wonderful tool and I'm sure you like it. Go ahead, download the link and let's get learning together.